I used some of my lottery money to help my sister pay her rent, and I made it crystal clear that I didn't want her telling anyone, but of course she told our deadbeat family, and now they're slashing my tires since I'm not giving them any cash. Hey, so I, 21F, won the lottery quite a while ago. I don't really need to go further into how much, but a lot. I've decided to donate a lot of it to charities, especially towards NICU babies, since my son was in there, and then put the rest away. I didn't tell anyone about this whole thing because I knew friends and family could turn into money-grabbing folks, but I decided to tell my sister who really needed the money to pay rent for herself and told her not to tell anyone, because of these reasons. She went against my wishes and contacted them. That really pissed me off. I mentioned to her that he'll try prying back into our lives. So yeah, most of my family, being my dad and his side of the family, isn't talking to me, because his family hates his children for being half Japanese/half European. He listened to his own mother and went back to his home country. But he is still in contact with my sister and brother who are the same as me. I was devastated at first but eventually moved on, not having much closure from my dad. I've never met my mother either, apart from her giving birth to me and handing me over to my dad. She left after having 3 kids and depression. Well, as you can see, my family is back and talking to me, as if nothing happened, and gaslighting me as per usual as before, saying I'm crazy and that my dad never left. My grandmother would come over to my house from her own country and pretend to visit her great-grandchildren, while saying how sick she is and how her knees hurt and she needs surgery but they can't afford it. Then my dad would come over, and at this point, I was wondering to myself why I was letting these people in, and eventually told them to leave after they asked to look after all of my money. Now they are slashing my tires, stealing my mail, trying to talk to my husband into letting them inside, Facebooking, emailing, etc. My mother also got in contact with me too for the first time in my life and immediately asked for money. She is an alcoholic, and I hung up and had a cry. My husband's noticed how badly this has escalated and asked if we should move to a better area. I didn't want to leave, mainly cause of the kids' schools and friends around this area, but it's probably the best. I have no idea what to do about my family though. Commenter 1. Call the cops? Most of the harassment you listed was illegal. A restraining order could be put in place. It sounds harsh, but seems necessary. Hey, thanks. I think I might file a police report about the tire slashing and mail stealing. I don't know why I haven't done it sooner. Maybe I've just been giving them excuses since they're related to me. Commenter 2. Tell your sister the money is gone, maybe she'll tell them and they'll back off. Get restraining orders and call the police if they are on your property. Slashing your tires and stealing your mail is illegal. Being related to you isn't an excuse. Thanks. I'm considering a restraining order. It seems like my best bet right now. I'm also going to file a police report and set up some cameras around the property. Update. Hi everyone. Sorry for not posting an update. I have quite a few messages asking me how I'm doing, so I thought I'd post here on what's going on. I realized people were trying to figure out where I came from, since the dialect or the tone of my writing is a bit off. I actually have a bit of a learning disability, so my partner comes on and sort of corrects things for me. Well, we ended up having to move, which is no problem to be honest. It was the safer route for our little family that's growing. We also installed extra security and have contacted police, schools, neighbors, etc. I'll tell you the story. First of all, I'm just going to say that I stopped talking to my sister. She's acting as if she did nothing wrong, but she knows what she did. So about a month and a half ago, we had already started packing, since we were moving away. My dad texted me and asked if I wanted to meet up, just myself. I said no at first, because I knew that he was going to try and yell at me again for not giving him any money, as well as my grandma. He then ended up writing an email and apologized for everything he had said and done on his and grandma's behalf. I was actually surprised my dad was apologizing for the first time in his life. He then asked if we could meet again, so I caved in and met him. We went to a cafe, and I had a really nice time talking to him, yet I felt a bit off. We were probably sitting there talking for about an hour. He was checking his phone a lot. After we left, I went straight home. My partner had our son with him, and found that the property we were living in at the time had been broken into. I realized at that point that Dad used me as a sort of decoy or something. I called the police immediately and told them that we have secret installation and cameras, so we'll be able to see who did what and when. They scanned the house with a German Shepherd dog, and had an inspection and investigation. Meanwhile, I contacted my partner and then went down to the police station with them. They started watching the videos, and behold, it was my own fudging grandmother. I guess she doesn't need that knee surgery then. I asked the officers what I could do, and like many suggested in the first post, they suggested a restraining order, specifically a protection order straight away. I had the evidence. I was so wound up, I just wanted to call my dad and fudging yell at him because I knew he and Grandma planned this together. I decided not to because that could jeopardize things in court. They ended up stealing my jewelry and my partner's Oculus. No idea why. I told my partner to store it away properly, but he didn't. The police officer asked me why I didn't want to press charges on them for slashing my tires and stealing my mail. I said I had the benefit of the doubt about them, but I was wrong. The police found my grandmother and father around my property and arrested them. They were standing there pretending to be worried and sad that the house was broken into. My dad went to trial. He couldn't afford a lawyer, so he had a public defender. My father is to be sentenced to 4 years in prison for robbing our house. I ended up finding out that he did a home invasion many years ago, went to prison and then came out and flew to his home country after his parole ended. I was taken back by all of this. My grandma is currently in hospital, because she actually did hurt her knee and leg from breaking into our house. At least right now, I have a protection order against them. They cannot come near me or my family, or the property. As for my partner and my son, I apologized to him and said I shouldn't have met my dad. He understood and just said that it's normal to crave love. I'm really honestly heartbroken that my family would do this to me, but at least we've moved into a better property. I can get the therapy I need and I can focus on my new family. Thanks for reading. Edit. Thanks for the support, guys. I really appreciate it. Commenter. I really feel absolutely terrible for you, but I laugh my butt off at your grandmother's injury. Poetic justice. Oop. Ha ha ha, I laughed too. She deserved it. She is still in hospital being treated for her knee, but her trial is coming up.